I think most people probably know a few things about me, but I was never, I would say, like a prodigy. You know, I wasn't like the kid where you see Tiger Woods swinging on the Johnny Carson show at 2 or 3 years old, and you know his swing looks as good as it did at 3 years old as it did, you know, as he grew older. I saw myself as someone who probably had some other traits that maybe were hard to identify, but that were really sustainable over time, which was, I would say, work ethic and discipline. And I remember showing up my first day as freshman year, I didn't have much, you know, hair under my arms or anything like that. I was like, and these other kids came in shaving, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I didn't know how to put the pads on in my pants when I tried out for freshman football. I mean, I had never played until that point except in the street. So these kids came out there, they had, you know, helmets and shoulder pads that they had worn for 4 years through Pop Warner, and I went on the field and I was like, I'm gonna get killed out here, you know. And my freshman year, I didn't even play. I was the backup quarterback on a team that went 0-8. That says a lot. I couldn't get on the field, and we never won a game anyway. Going into my second year in high school, there were workouts in the morning at 6 a.m. before school, and I was like, okay, I can get up at 6 a.m. and I can go do these rope drills where you run through the ropes. You see a lot of people do that. There were these hills that we would run up, and there was probably less than 10 people there, but I was probably one of the 3 that were there almost every single day to try to continue to push myself to grow in these maybe physical areas that I was really behind a lot of the other people at. Because naturally, no one's good at everything. I mean, that's just not the way life works. We're all talented at certain things, but we can really continue to improve our weaknesses if we're humble enough to identify them, and we can build on our strengths. That what you know is very limited, and what you don't know is limitless. There was a junior college football coach that I wanted to become a better passer because I had a good arm, and he was a 3-sport coach at a junior college. His name was Tom Martinez, one of my great mentors. I wanted to throw a ball better, so who better than to find this guy who was probably ahead of his time. And I really saw that as like, wow, I can go see someone who has more knowledge than me and I can learn from him. Blessing in my life that I would say, you know, some of the things I blessed with: hard work, discipline. You know what I was also blessed with? Being very naive. I had no idea how hard it was. But I believed, because I was like, oh, no, like I'm gonna get better, and I'm gonna be better. Well, going into my 4th year in high school, I was recruited, but not like a lot of the top kids. I was big. We had to make VCR tapes with my dad in his office when I said, Dad, we gotta like put together the most clips that I have. And this is when my dad would film the games. So I send these tapes out, and there's a little bit of buzz about me, and I start getting recruited. So then I went to Michigan, I show up, they walk me into the big house. And it's called the big house for a reason. There's 102,000 people in there on a college football Saturday. Now it's expanded to like 112,000, it's incredible. And I walk through the tunnel at midfield, and they go, from Sarah High School in San Mateo, Tom Brady. And I looked up and I was like, I want to go to school here. So I'm there for 2 days. I don't talk to my parents the whole time. You know, we didn't have cell phones. And I get to the airport in Detroit, and I call my dad, collect. And I go, Dad, I think I know where I want to go to college. And like, he started breaking down, and he's like, what? You know, leaving to go all the way back to Michigan. And he said, are you sure you want to go? And I said, Dad, if I want to be the best, I got to beat the best. And this is where the best are. So I showed up on campus as a freshman in the fall of 1995. I was the 7th quarterback on the depth chart. And they were all better than me. There was a certain amount of repetitions in practice. The starter would get 20, the backup would get 10, and I would get 2. And I'd go in and I'd say, well, how can I ever get better? All these guys get all the reps and I only get 2. And he said, just go in there and focus with the 2 that you got and make them as perfect as you possibly can. So I said, okay. So that's what I did. They'd put me in for those 2. Man, I'd sprint in there like it was Super Bowl 49. Let's go, boys, here we go. What play we got? And I did really well with those 2 because I brought enthusiasm, I brought some energy, and I had a little more confidence in myself. And it went from 2 reps to getting 4 reps because those 2 were pretty good. Then I had 4 good reps. Then I got 10 good reps. And before you knew it, through this new attitude, through this new shift that Greg had said to me, focus on what you can control. Focus on what you're getting, not what anyone else is getting. Whenever you get an opportunity, you take advantage of it. You treat it like it's the Super Bowl. You treat it like it's game day. Go out there and treat practice like no one else does. And I did that every single day. And it was a lot. It was taxing on me. I got to wake up in the morning and I got to do the extra work. And I got to show up when other guys aren't. And I've got to learn. I've got to continue to be open to learning. Same thing that I had learned in those previous years. I'm going to go out there and compete as hard as I can. And I'm going to treat practice like a game. And I'm going to gain the respect of my teammates every day through my work ethic. I'm going to work hard in the weight room. I'm going to work hard in the film room. I'm going to work hard to be a good student.